Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we're going to keep it sunny inside with some citrus tree species grown from seed. And we're going to be wiring and pruning those up, getting those plantings looking better than they do right now, and avoiding that crazy rain that we've been having for a few days here. So, citrus, that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, so my elevated bonsai indoors to keep them away from Stella. Here we have a Schefflera cutting, and then what I do is I don't go through any crazy germination process with my citrus. When I'm done having a piece of fruit that I think would be fun to grow the tree, I throw some seeds in soil, and here we have it. So actually the largest one is the smallest of the citrus. This is a mandarin, and this over here is a blood orange. So I think I'm going to add some wire to the two citrus trees, maybe do a little pruning, and definitely at least half defoliation on the Schefflera just to give me some room in there and see what I'm working with. Moving down over here, I've got a Caracara orange, and that's in there with a couple of Italian figs, and I've been growing them all, well, the citrus from seed, and then these are cuttings of my fig, and I think that they finally have just bit the dust. Usually they'll drop their leaves and bud out further down on the trunk and just do that a few times a year growing indoors. They're confused, but I think now they just may be dead. So we'll prune back a little bit and prune back to if there's any live branches. Otherwise we'll know, and we'll just take them out at the base and let the orange do its thing. So usually pruning it back will have it kick off a couple of branches, and since these are grown indoors, since they've been seeds, they don't know what season it is outside, so I think they are fine for a pruning and of course a wiring. So I'll start with the Schefflera, just getting some of these lower leaves out of there because I can't even see this little blood orange down here. The Schefflera take a little bit when you grow them from cuttings to start kicking off nice growth, but this one seems to be happy, so hopefully it will respond well to this. I love doing combo plantings of random trees. It's a way to fit that many more trees into your collection if you have less room. So the old growth gets a little darker leaf, new growth's a light shiny green. So this should kick off some nice new shiny green growth. So I'm not pruning these leaves back all the way to the trunk line. Leave a little bit of room, and then after a few days they'll turn yellow and just fall right off. Dead spot from the previous pruning. Starting to get a picture here. I like the height of the Schefflera, so I'm not going to prune anything that would influence that. I will just take off all of this though. This one's growing back towards the other trunk, so I'll take that out. And that leaves one leaf, 1, 2, 3 on those 3 branches there. And then I'll leave this one on that one there. And down here, if you could see it, there's a tiny little branch starting down below. So that gives it some room to come in as well. Just remove one more. All right, so that leaves one leaf on each branch to continue to collect energy and shoot it towards the tree. But it leaves a lot of room for new growth to come in. I'm going to do the same on these citrus, just remove some of the larger, older leaves. It'll help me work around. These leaves down here at the base, these are like the original from when they germinate. So I'll just get those out of there. And I'll leave this top new leaf that's nice and happy. I don't want to prune the height out of that one at all. And then we come to the mandarin. I'll remove these bottom leaves. It's not much of a trunk, but you want to be able to see that trunk, right? Alright, cool. So this looks pretty straight and boring here, and I'd like them all to be relatively the same height. So I'm just going to leave about a ½ inch for dye back there at the top. Boom, boom. Giant leaf. Yeah, that'll work. So I've got a little Buddha in here, a shell, and a random stone. Don't know that those make much sense together. The shell, I'm assuming because I wanted it to be tropical themed, so this is collected from one of our vacations. The stone looks like some local quartz. Alright, and then I just pick up a bunch of these little Buddhas because I like having little miniature statues in my plantings. Alright, so coming up on the tall one. Boom. Going to wrap it around the base so it's like hugging it, but not cutting off circulation. And then I'm just going to wrap it up the trunk line, trying to avoid wrapping where there's already leaves meeting the trunk, because that's typically where new growth will shoot out of, so I don't want to disrupt any of those little nodes. This is actually pretty thick wire for this thin of a tree, so I'm going to leave, I'd say, an inch between wraps. Around again. Not too young to have little thorns on them. No, I'm not supposed to do them with these scissors, but here we are. Okay, and then I'll wrap up the other one, and we'll get them into a nice little design. What I'll probably do, you may not even hear this because I'll probably do some music, hyperlapse, speed it up, but we'll see. Alright, this is definitely overkill. Just kind of hook it around the base. boom. All right, cool. So I imagine this one would be, the front would kind of be like that. So we'll showcase the smaller citrus up front, larger one off to the side, and then the backdrop of the nice bushy Schefflera. So then I'll probably want this one to start to the middle and then work its way out. It's all fun and games till you hear a snap, which I did not hear this time. Just go back a little bit. Boom. All right. And then out with a little up. Sweet. All right, now all three leaves that are remaining are at least facing out and not interfering with these other ones. That's why I'll remove this. Okay. Right, so that's kind of coming towards the front and then steering away. So I'm going to go away with this one. And then come back around. Sweet. All right, so then if this is the backdrop, I started doing this little technique where I, instead of putting the rocks down, laying them down, I kind of stack them up like they're a jagged cliff in the back. And I like that. So that looks like it would be the top. Just kind of using the edge of the pot to work my way in. Cool. All right, the shell doesn't really fit, so that's going to another planting, future planting. And so you can see Buddha. He's maroon and maroon colored wood glaze. Hard to pick up on the soil, but I'll put him right in front of that little stone there. Sweet. I think in the future, I might make it a little beach scene and start with sand on this half. And then, I don't know, maybe some smaller rocks leading up to the big one in the middle. Pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna get the other tree and we'll wrap that one up. All right, back with number 2. So the Caracara orange, this one's been growing for a few years now. Pretty cool. Let's see if we have fly figs or dead figs. just go on there. I don't know. I'm not going to cut them totally out, but I don't know about these. Might as well set them up in case they are going to come back. Got that little nasty branch at the bottom there. Let's see here. Ooh. These figs might be history. But other trees that are less easy to grow, we'll call figs, have surprised me before and come back. So they might just be in a little bit of dormancy. We'll see. There is some slight green here. Not so much on this one. Well, at least we could see the orange better. And if you can see, being in the window, it got a little sun-scorched. Eastern-facing windows can get really hot in here, and I think the windows just kind of act like a magnifying glass on some days where the sun's too intense. So that's what happened here. Same thing will happen if I'm not careful in the winter and they're too close to the window on a really cold day. So I think we're going to take down the height first, and that'll solve the problem of dead leaves. So I'll pick, go here. I'm just going to follow that trend all the way around. Big ol' thorn on this one. We'll take off just below that. When I always forget about the thorns is when I'm cleaning up and I go to scoop up a bunch of leaves, and then you're sticking yourself in a million places. Right, this long one up here. All right, we come around to this side. We've just got some division at the end. I don't want to mess with that. Actually, this one that I pruned earlier, you see how it's growing out of the base of this branch here? That's going to end up causing an ugly knob. I'm going to take out the lower one growing from the base of the other branch. That should have been pruned out way long ago. I messed up. I'll leave about a ½ inch, quarter inch, just so it could die back without killing this branch off. And then kind of similarly right here, this one and this one are growing from the same area. I'll get a bulge there. And this one's just kind of straight and boring going up the middle, so I'll take that one out. Alright, that's better. So this leaf is the top of one branch, so I'll try to just nip that leaf off, even a little higher than I normally would, because I'm not sure if I'm just trying to develop something else there. Get this out of here. So I'm just going to nip this tip off right here. Removing some of the older leaves just to get them out of the way. Alright, it sounds like Laura and Stella are home, so I may have a toddler joining me for the rest of this video. I gotta go let them in. Stand by. All right, wrapping this one up. So I didn't have much more to do. Looks like we've got a couple of branches, actually 3, in very close proximity to each other up here. So that'll be the last thing I'll have to do. Of course, I wish for branching, and it all comes on one branch in one area. So this one's kind of coming out of the base of this one. I'll take this one out here. Uh-oh, it's okay. And yeah, that'll clean it up so you can see it. And this one, I think I'm going to keep wire free because it's growing a nice uniform canopy, all 3 branches going outwards, about the same length. So you heard Stella, uh-oh, we're out of time. Gotta go make some lunch. So, hope y'all enjoyed yourselves here at the ranch. Got 3 different citrus trees pruned up, 2 wired, and hopefully those fig trees come back. So, I'm Jared Paul, and from my chatty little Stella and my family to yours, cheers.